today as both sides head out, and Tom Aldred wearing the captain's armband. Warren Moon comes up to coach his former side. Referees for today's game, Rachel Mitchinson, Renee Coggle, Joseph Lee and Zach Keenan. The officials in this one. Local referees for this game in what is a massive tie between the clubs. Campbell Johnson here taking you through all of the action here on 10 Play, joined by former Lions player Nick Meredith. A massive game for both clubs today.
Yeah, it is, and how fantastic. You look at those shots, you can see people standing all around the ground here at Richlands. On the side that the viewers can't see, it's absolutely standing room only. So doors locked at about 3,000, a full house. And look, these clubs have an intertwined history. I mean, as you know, the Roar were born out of Lions, initially Hollandia. Things haven't progressed well for them in relations off the field over the last few years, and it's a real shame for football in Queensland, but these clubs have no love lost for each other, so this will be a derby in all sense of the word. There's a real animosity out there between the clubs, I think, so look, this is going to be great to watch.
And it's a match we haven't fully seen in this year's, at least, edition of the FFA Cup. Very rare do you get the opportunity to see, a club born from another play against each other in any competition. It'll be really interesting to see how they line up. Players for you to watch out for in this game, Nick?
Well, I think it's going to be, for starters, it's stifling conditions here. We're going to have a drinks break, I believe. So if you're watching at home, it's in the mid-30s here, and it's not comfortable conditions at all. Obviously, for Lions, you mentioned Mikola. He's probably been the young star of the NPL up here. Be very interesting to see. I think, personally, he's in the shop window here today. If he stars us, I think he can. The Raw might pick him up or someone else. So I think he's one to really keep a look on for Lions. Alex Fechner's another talent. And for the Raw, let's just see how their new players settle in. But Cyrus Demi up front, a young guy that's done great things up here in the NPL. Be really interested to see how he goes.
Well, we've seen the Raw aren't afraid to pick up NPL talents. Jez Lofthouse and former Lions player Henry Hoare signing recently, as we are underway here in the round of 16 matchup of the FFA Cup here on 10 Players. Lions FC host Brisbane Roar A-League opposition. Humongous game for both sides as Aldred heading it away, assured as always at the back. And you're right, absolutely packed gallery here at Lions Stadium, and it's really what you love to see. Campbell Johnson and Nick Meredith here with you, but this is what it's all about. This is what the Cup's about. The pros versus the semi-pros. The Den, the Raw Corps, giving it plenty of noise early here. And a long throw in, Mikola taking for Lions. In the mixer now. Rising up well is Doherty, but punching it away frightfully is Macklin Freak, and offside called on the far side, I believe. But Ethan Doherty, a true aerial presence. We saw that in the Casuarina game as well.
Yeah, he's a big lad. Lions have got a few. He's one of them that's a threat when they go forward. Obviously, Mikola's got a significant long throwing, as he demonstrated there. Set pieces are one area when the semi-pros have, they're almost on equal footing. They work on their set pieces almost as much as the pros. So that's somewhere where they'll think they've got a real chance.
Especially when they have to break down defences, as Cyrus Demi looks to do so. Corey Brown with a volleyed ball through, and Tommy Jarrett can deal with that one. And it's really been a revelation. Max Mikola moving from Wynnum Wolves in the off-season, played FQPL last year, stepping up to the NPL, has got 22 goals in the league, has really lit the comp on fire as Andy Thompson, his sister Tegan Thompson, was crowned champion of the NPLW last night, as Doherty stepping out of defence and Steinman trying to feed it through for Mully Usnich. Demi really trying to prove himself here, getting active early, trying to win the ball back as Lions able to reset.
It's interesting we're at this stage of the season. The A-League club's obviously still in pre-season. You think there would be a fitness edge for the NPL clubs who have played all the way through, just about to come into finals. But I actually think playing in the day in these conditions really suits the Raw. They train in daytime conditions day in, day out. Lions don't. They train, they work during the day, and they train at night and basically play at night. So the conditions for Lions are actually quite fine. I think it's a big advantage for Raw, these conditions.
The Raw training on the Gold Coast as well, basking in the sun, as Truant on the left side of the back three here. Scott Neville, a good acquisition for them last year. Aldred. And Kai Truant's been really good for them over the past season or so. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the goalkeeping position with Macklin Freak and Geordie Holmes there on the bench today. Freak gets the start for today as Doherty trying to clear it. Simic going down. Rahmat Akbari not happy with that one. He scored last time these two sides played. He's really come leaps and bounds in the past few years. Natia Simic only returning to the side in their last NPL fixture after suffering a few leg injuries, and Alex Fechner going down there, potentially putting a bit of mayo on that one, asking for it, but they've got to give it all they can. And Truant over the top to the speedster in Muliuznic. Demi just fouling Ethan Doherty there, and the Raw getting forward early in this one.
We should also mention, Campbell, for those watching the game, used to seeing the Raw in orange, the Raw in the white. They're in their away strip. Lions, obviously the home team here for this round, and playing in their traditional orange. Obviously very much a throwback to their Dutch heritage. It's they've always been orange, and that's where the orange that you see in the Raw teams over the years came from.
It's even etched on the inside of the jersey as winning it back is Mikula, and Fechner now foul given away. And the Raw players breathe a little easier there, and the Lions players not all that happy with that one.
Yeah, I think it was a foul, but she took a while to blow the whistle there, and I think Tom Aldred was hard in mouth there because Lions had a 2-on-1 situation. I think he gets... he did make a bit out of it. There was not much in it, so I think quite early it's clear that Lions are happy for Tom Aldred to have the ball.
It's Jared, crucial touch there, but into the path of Cyrus Demi, the youngster, brought down in the box. Not given there, the ball just too far ahead of him already, and Hingett trying to win it back high. Does really well there to get around Doherty, and Natia Simic leading from the back, and Finn Beekhurst sending it down the line. Scott Neville moving things quickly. Steinman just playing it into a referee for today, Rachel Mitchinson. We'll get a start again. Just
back on that, Cam, I think the Raw have got a back three there, Neville, Aldred and Truant. I think the way Lions have seen the ball come out a couple of times now, they're happy for Aldred to have it and not let Neville and Truant get it. So that's the way they seem to have set up early. Let Tom Aldred have the ball and see if he can hurt us.
Darren Symes experimented quite a bit, but these sides playing fairly similar formations. Lions putting their fullbacks a little bit further back. We can see Andy Thompson in the starting lineup today, a more defensive right wing back than Zach Maltby. And we'll see how that plays out throughout the game. Plenty of Warren Moon identity and DNA in this Lions side still. And Steinman. Just dinking it over towards Demi, holding off Ethan Doherty, the former Strikers player. Akbari doing really well there. Has options in the middle. If Demi's at the near post, is it given? And it is. Penalty early here as Cyrus Demi going down at the near post. And if you're Lions, that's the last thing you wanted 6 minutes into the game.
He's done well there, Akbari. He was selective with his cross, but look, there was really no protest from the Lions players. That's one thing Cyrus Demi's been really good at in the local competition, his sharpness in and around the box. So no protest from Lions. I think it was a clear penalty.
He's got really clever movement, and Corey Brown stepping up to take the penalty, but Cyrus Demi obviously been with Warren Moon over the past few years at Anglican Church Grammar School in the GPS competition. Now gets his chance for the Raw, but Corey Brown here.
This is a massive surprise for me, Corey Brown taking the penalty.
The left footer stepping up to take it. And putting it into the roof of the net and opening things for the Raw. The Den erupt at Lions Stadium, and Corey Brown takes a trot, and they hold up the jersey for Isaac Powell. A beautiful sign from the Raw players. Isaac Powell been battling with leukemia for the past few months. They were all wearing number 28 jerseys in the warm-up, and that's a touching show from the Roar.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's one of the good things about sport and football, that if you do come down with an illness like Isaac has and you've got a battle, you've got teammates around you and people that support you. So fantastic young guy, Isaac, and a fantastic young talent. So things are looking positive, so let's hope they stay that way for him. But on that super penalty from Corey Brown, he made me look like a dill. And, yeah, no wonder he's taken the penalties. That was a super execution. And just the start Lions wanted, they'd like to get another now to really put, that the Roar got to really put Lions on the back foot.
How do you respond to that?
Well, I think Lions have set up not to concede early. I think, like you said, with Thompson, they've gone with a fairly defensive setup on the right back. So they just need to make sure for the next 10 minutes or so that they're just solid. They've started okay. They've been a little bit lax in a couple of things, but they just go about it. It's one goal. You know, you've got a long time to get it back. So we saw the ball in, a good ball in from Akbari. And, yeah, it's just his sharpness there. It looks like it's Jared he's got ahead of. And it's a clear penalty. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
You're right, they have looked a little bit lax and a little bit panicked at the back at some stages. Ethan Doherty, Tommy Jarrett and Matthias Simic there. Just looking a bit shaky. The nerves not quite out of the system yet.
It's probably the biggest weakness in the Lions team is not in the playing ability of his back three, but the pace of the back three. It's something that, as a person watching a lot of NPL, that stands out for me. That's their biggest issue, is their pace at the back. And Cyrus is very sharp in and around the box, and he's exposed them, and they've exposed them a couple of times with pace already to have the Roar.
As Ramad Akbari looking to do the same here, has been sensational so far. The touch ahead of him and just a little bit too far. Gets a little shove from the police officer in Matthias Simic and Nikola Miluznic. So we have another look there, clipped by Jared, and clear as day there. I'll just say the Den supporters up and about early in this one. Love to see it. Hopefully it'll be the same at Moreton Daily Stadium this year, as Cyrus Demi coughing a falcon there. But Nikola Miluznic playing up front as well. Obviously a speedster in his own right. We'll be looking to exploit those slower centre halves you mentioned. One of the fastest players in the world, having exceeded 36 kilometres an hour in games in the past. The former Adelaide United player. Signed for the Roar this off-season from Randers in Denmark as well. We're looking to get back into the A-League and into this Roar squad. A big signing for them as Solozano. Carlos has been exceptional for Lions since coming back into the side off injury at about the midway point. Has played about 17 or so games this season and has really turned around Lions' fortune in the NPL. Jared looking to go over the top. Carlos making that run forward, and Truan perhaps had less or more time than he thought. Just plays it out to the sideline. Thompson just handing it off to Max Mikler, and we'll see a long throw in here from the former Gregory Terrace man. Spent some time in Spain as well with Valencia. As Max Mikler headed away by Neville. Beakhurst just watching it go out. And Max Mikler spent time in the third division as well in Spain, heading back to Brisbane during COVID. Corey Brown opening up the scoring today. Tom Aldred with plenty of orders as Beakhurst standing over it, the left wing back. Towards the back stick, rising is Doherty. Simic will be able to collect it on the edge of the box, play it off Akbari for another corner. And Finn Beakhurst scored in their last game in the Cup here. An absolutely sensational strike at that. You're looking to do the same once again. Mikler to deliver once again. Towards the front post now, Neville heading it away, and it can't be understated how good the turnout is today. Very rarely do you see this.
I don't think we've seen a crowd here since, I'm going to say 1987. It was about, or maybe a little bit after with some NSL games, but that was about it. That's a disappointing because their set pieces up to there have been really good. They've been putting pace on the ball and challenging the Raw defenders, but Mikula will be disappointed in that.
I'm sure we'll get plenty of more chances as the game goes on. Tempo slowing down for both sides over the past. Neville able to clear, setting it long and high. Doherty underneath it. Finesse not his strong suit. Went down with studs. Got the ball by the looks of things, but we'll see yellow for this one on Ramat Akbari. He's walking away, but Rachel Mitchinson still giving him the yellow card there.
Yeah, 100%. You just can't do that. Nowadays, you go in with your studs raised, whether you get the ball or not, it's dangerous play. He was fortunate, but I think he did get a little bit of the ball. If he just gets that, Barry, then he's in real trouble. So let himself down with his first touch. First touch followed by a tackle. That's never a good recipe for good football, and that's what's got himself in trouble. He hasn't had a great start to the game, Doherty, 15 minutes in, which is, a shame because he's had an excellent season in the local NPL. He was in the squad for the team of the year. So he's had a good season. He just needs to settle himself down now.
A touch just letting him down at times in these early stages. And Steinman inside to Demi. Akbari pulling the strings early. Lovely run there by Demi to get around Simic. A sprightly striker. Got his debut last year in the A-League men's. Be looking to have a big campaign this year. Luka Ivanovic left out of the matchday squad today for the Raw as well. Akbari collected there by Simic. And a handball there by Akbari, not given. Neville able to keep going. Akbari once again a part of everything so far. Steinman scored his debut for the Raw. Akbari. Steinman with the cross. Doherty getting a touch to it, and Beakhurst a hurried clearance there. Three debutants getting on the score sheet in the FFA Cup game for Raw. Lascano off the bench. Matty Steinman as well, and Luka Ivanovic. It must be said, Luka Ivanovic was superb in that game as well. He was freak clearing it long. Lions have to get one back as soon as possible if they want to get some confidence back in this game. Duckworth, former Western Pride player, was with them in the 2017 side that won the NPL Grand Final. Mikula dispossessed by Truan, and Muliusnic looking to go over the top. Daly not pursuing that one with too much intensity. And Barine getting plenty of attention from the fans behind the goal as always. Carlos getting lucky there. Almost dispossessed, but Doherty sweeping up the loose ball. Jared going to go over the top. Solorzano tracking it down, but Aldred reading it well.
It's probably not a bad option there from Tommy Joe, just to try and turn it around and get the ball away from their end. They're playing this ball out slowly across the back, then playing a straight ball into midfield, and they've been picked off 3 times now, and the Raw are just sitting on that waiting. So, while it might not be the most attractive and subtle of options, it probably wasn't a bad decision at all. It just turned the Raw around for a little bit, which gives them a chance to get a footing again, because their last 5 minutes has been a little bit average. Lions, they just seem to have lost a little bit of confidence with that goal.
Scott Neville fouling Alex Fechner there. Alex Fechner coming over from Brisbane City as they were relegated to FQPL last season, promoted straight back. His younger brother Kai Fechner still playing for Brisbane City, as Duckworth back on the ball now. Beakhurst was at St George Willawong last season after coming back from playing down south. Doherty, Raw applying high press here. trying to force mistakes out of the Lions centre halves as Beakhurst making the run. Direct ball from Berean. Beakhurst doing well there. Carlos into Fechner with the first time effort across the face there. And the first sign of life from Lions 18 minutes in.
Much better from Lions. Everyone that received the ball in that sequence of play looked to play their first touch forward, and that makes it difficult for a defender, which means they've worked hard before they've got the ball. They've got their body in the right position so they can play it forward. Excellent passage of play. Unlucky not to get more out of that.
Finn Beakhurst proving his dynamism down the left-hand side for Lions. He's been really good since coming in. Is the ball over the top now? Freak coming out well, bravely taking over goalkeeping duties from Jamie Young as he moves to Western United in this off-season. Obviously, him and Jordan Holmes are going to battle it out as Jordan Holmes returning from England and from Ollie Roo's duty. The Olympian has the ball there, just unable to meet Sean Carlos. Barry doing well there. Played in a more reserved role last season. More reserved than he's used to. Played as more of a 6. Traditionally, beg your pardon, plays in a more advanced 10 role as he looks to be playing now, and out, drifting out wide to the right. There's Truant. Miliusnic. Akbari. Miliusnic leaving his run there, and Demi feeding it through. Miliusnic going around, and Doherty really good there to stick in the foot. Brave challenge and saving his side. Potentially a goal or an effort there from Miliusnic.
He had to be perfect there, Doherty. It was good movement by Miliusnic. We know how quick he is. Doherty lunged, but then he played that really well. He narrowed the angle. He thought about what he was doing. He went with the non-conventional leg to try and stop that, but that was his best option. That was well defended.
Brown to deliver with the left, curling it back towards goal. Headed now towards the back post. Headed away, and Brown following it up and just dragging it wide. Potentially, I believe Sean Carlos here getting a look out from Rachel Mitchinson.
Yeah, got a bit of a head knock. He basically cleared the ball off the line there. It was a good header back across. I think it was from Neville. Not sure it was goal bound, but it was a fairly brave header from Carlos. And you mentioned him before. Early in the season, Lions were in a pretty average run of form and looked like their season was just going to fade away to nothing. Sean Carlos came back in, and I think they might have won 9 or 10 games in a row, and he was a real big part of that. He does a lot of the unspectacular work, I guess. He's the one that really works very hard in midfield, does the dirty work, I think is the best way to put it, and he's made a big difference to this Lions team once he came back in.
And for mine, if he'd played more games throughout the season, obviously nothing he can do about that, but he'd be in the running for Player of the Year. His impact felt greatly as Lions can move forward. Carlos into Mikola. He has Fechner inside of him in a bit of space. Doing really well is Mikola there. Just the experience of Neville there, winning out. The tenacity of Mikola trying to win it back, and Steinman fouled there by Duckworth, who has some words for him in his face, and the tempers flare here in a big rivalry as Hingett gets in there, and no love lost here at Richlands.
Oh, that's what we like to see, a bit of passion in the derby. Duckworth obviously wasn't happy with the work of Steinman to get a free kick. I thought it was a free kick, no big deal. Truant got very lucky, he lunged in down here on Mikola. It wasn't defending how you teach it. He really should have tried to hold Mikola up there. He got a little bit fortunate there that the ball bounced his way, but look, a bit of passion in the game, that's good. Probably there wasn't much in it. Maybe a little bit on the afters with Mikola coming over the top, but a bit of passion, that doesn't hurt anyone.
I'm sure Darren Syme will like it. They have a few words for each other now. They can laugh it off. And you're right, Kai Truan got very lucky there. Scott Neville retreating to help him out. A beautiful ball into Demi now. Holding up, and he is onside. And the final product there, nowhere near good enough from Cyrus Demi.
No, he's got to do better there. It was poor defending from Lions. It's just a simple 30-yard ball knocked in behind them, and he had an acre of space, Demi. I'd like to see him take the player on there. He's got tremendous speed. Simic, who's not the quickest of players, has given him 10 yards of pace there in the box. Instead of just trying to cross, he could really have taken him on there and made the defender make a decision.
Cyrus Demi has been sensational throughout the year in the NPL competition for the youth side. One of the top scorers in the league and the team of the season as Muljuznic dispossessed. And for Demi, it's about proving he can cut it at the next level. To Warren Moon and co. Obviously bringing in Scott Guy at a great acquisition as Akbari in towards Demi, and plenty of shouts for a foul there. I think they got it cleanly, and looking to go over the top is Duckworth towards Fechner. Flag may go up, and it does on Alex Fechner there. Alex Fechner looking lively in these opening exchanges. The more dangerous of the two strikers.
Yeah, Alex has got that exceptional pace that you can't coach, and it's very difficult to defend against. He's one of the quickest players around. One thing I noticed for the Raw is they're doing well down this side of the field, the right-hand side, and we've seen that in most of their pre-season and FFA Cup games we've watched. They've done well down this side, but they haven't had a lot of productivity down the other side, down the left-hand side. So I'm sure they'd like to get Muljuznic involved a little bit more. I'd like to see him start from a little bit of a wider position. You see there, he's just started from too narrow, and he's made it difficult for himself as we're going to have our first drinks break.
Searing hot conditions here, forcing the sides to have a bit of H2O. 33 degrees here in the southeast pocket of Queensland. They call it the Sunshine State for a reason. And we have a look. A few of the highlights, the goal and the foul here. Corey Brown opened the scoring. Look at this one, a chance for Doherty, punched away by Freak. Akbari doing really well. Demi winning it, and Corey Brown, cool as you like, into the roof of the netting. Lovely tribute to Isaac Powell as well. This is the best chance of the game for Lions. Alex Fechner just dragging it wide. Muljuznic. This one from Ethan Doherty, just sticking a foot out and saving his side. What's the chat? If you're Darren Syme, what are you saying to your Lions FC players?
Well, I'd be reasonably pleased with how they've gone. They conceded the goal, which obviously is something they didn't want to do, but they've done okay. They've created the one really good chance, and that's with showing some confidence in yourself on the ball, where their first touch is forward and they're trying to challenge the defenders. They just keep going across the back, rolling into the midfield and get it back. Well, we'll sit there and let them do all that all day, and then they'll just pick them off when they see a poor touch or an opportunity to press. Very difficult to press in these conditions, but they'll be able to sit there and just pick their moment if Lions do that. I think Lions need to move the ball as quick as they possibly can, and they need to try and get particularly the likes of Mikola and Duckworth playing their first touches forward. And if they can play the touches forward, then you're starting to challenge the Raw defence, and you can get runs in behind from the likes of Fechner and that who've got that real pace up front. So just maybe a little bit more self-belief. And these guys have got good technique, so maybe believe in your technique a little bit more than what you're doing now. They'll get a little bit more room as the game goes on. As we said, it's stiflingly hot. You'll find in the next 20 minutes there'll be a little bit more room for all these players. So this is a chance for the guys who have got the technique and the ability in the Lions side to really try and put their impact on the game.
It'll be a big one if the Raw can win today. They've never made it past this stage before. The last time they were here was in 2019, and they lost on penalties to Central Coast Mariners. They were also lost 2-0 to Adelaide United in 2014 in the round of 16. For their first time they get past this stage as things stand. The Lions will have something to say about that. Both sides have been in this position 3 times so far, and Berean getting things back underway. Shouts for a handball there. Mikola able to recover the ball and move forward. Will get a bit of attention from Steinman. Plays with so much confidence, does Max Mikola, winning that one back, but giving away the foul as well, much to the frustration of the Lions bench and crowd. And it's fairly even between Raw and Lions supporters here at Lions Stadium. A good crowd.
Yeah, I think there is some commonality in the supporter base. Obviously, as we said before, these clubs, they're all were born out of Lions. So there's a lot of history between the two clubs. They have played some heritage games over the past few years. The Raw W League team played a lot of home games out of here. So there is a definite connection between the club, and I'm sure there's mutual supporters across both.
Jay O'Shea back on the bench today as well, it must be noted, for the Raw after being able to come back and stray pass from Steinman. But Jay O'Shea back from overseas in his off-season. I wonder if he'll come on. Plenty of players as well to watch as casual at the back from the Raw. Akbari, Steinman, Demi going down there, and perhaps the turf monster got him there. But some potential debuts. Jordan Holmes, goalkeeper, not sure if he'll come on. But Nick Olsen announced today, Jackson Hart-Phillips and Louis Zabala, potential debuts off the benches. Akbari into Muli Uznic if the flag stays down. Muli Uznic blocked well by Jared there. The flag stayed down in the end, and Sean Carlos able to get things back underway for Lions. Battling with Aldred and pushed down in the end, and not entirely sure about that one. Off the ball. May get some attention from the assistants.
We've got Jack Hingett down here. I think he's got a hamstring issue or something like that. But that chance there that Muli Uznic had, I've got no idea why he went back inside on his left foot there. Clear opening to shoot with his right foot across the goal. And you can make games for those sort of opportunities. And he didn't take the chance. He came back inside his left. I found that a very strange decision. I don't know if there's much in that. But, you can't go pushing people to ground order. You've got to be a little bit careful. So
he gets away with it, and Jack Hingett, and looks like Josh Brindle South maybe coming onto the field against his former side. Jack Hingett taking an early exit in this one, potentially. Looks to be the case. Jack Hingett's been solid so far, and an early exit to preserve himself. Hopefully he's okay, but Josh Brindle South makes his way onto the field. His old home ground. Applause from both sides of fans. Former Wellington Phoenix player as well. His brother plays for Albany Creek Excelsior, who were recently promoted to FQPL2 here in the local leagues as well. Has his fair share of experience at local level in Queensland. As Beakhurst, Simic under pressure there, but gets it away. Jarrett fooling Demi there, doing really well at the back. Simic playing it forward for Fechner if it'll hold up, and it does. Keep it in play. Aldred on his case, and Beakhurst towards the back post, and can't find a target there from Finn Beakhurst. But Lions starting to build into this game, bit of confidence.
Yeah, it's interesting since Duckworth had his little tate-a-tate in the middle of the field with Steinman and that. I think he sort of led the way that I'm not going to lie down. I'm going to give what I've got here, and you guys come with me. And they seem to have got a little bit of self-belief since then.
There's Brindle South. Early activity in this one off the bench as Demi. Really strong there from Tommy Jarrett. He had Matty Steinman making the run inside, but Tommy Jarrett doing really well there.
He did do well. He got a bit lucky like Truan as well. He sold out. If the ball's past him, he's in all sorts of trouble. He's basically committed that he's going to win that challenge, and he got away with it.
He's got something to prove. A former Brisbane Roar youth player as well, Tommy Jarrett. He looks to be in a little bit of pain, potentially just the heat wreaking havoc, as I'm sure it will. Plenty of players slopping and slapping before this one. Getting out the zinc. There's Doherty back to Berean. Jarrett Surging forward for Lions now. Fechner. Very well by Truan. Winning things back, and Akbari going over the top first time for Miljuznic. Has Demi and Akbari back in the middle. Miljuznic taking his time. Daly against his former side. Brindle South. Akbari. Neither of the forwards making too many runs at the moment as Corey Brown playing it back inside, and Jared dealing with that one with ease. The battle between Steinman and Duckworth rages on. Miljuznic inside to Brown now. Offside in the end. Just getting a little bit of ahead of himself there, Corey Brown. But a good run nonetheless.
Yeah, it's good. You like to see your fullbacks, getting beyond the forward players like this. On Miljuznic again, he had another chance only a couple of minutes ago. He was one-on-one with the defender again and didn't take him on. He took what was probably the easy and more comfortable option. He's got such pace and acceleration. Last thing a defender wants is an attacking player running at you one-on-one in the penalty box and forcing a decision. I'd just like to see him and Cyrus Demi, when they get in those positions, really ask questions of the defenders.
I think perhaps need to be a little bit more brave, take things on. They're here for a reason. They're at this stage. A bit of belief.
Well, as a defender, if you're isolated in the box and you've got a guy with real pace and acceleration in particular coming at you one-on-one, it's a nightmare. If you lunge with a foot and he gets past you, it's a penalty. If he beats you, he's got a shot on goal from 7 or 8 yards out. So what you've got to try and do when you're playing football is try and do what your opponent doesn't want you to do. And in that situation, running at them is a nightmare for a defender.
As Akbari now on the edge of the box, playing it in for Brindle South. Circling around, back to Akbari, may go himself here. Steinman opened up the scoring in their last cup game as Brown looking for options. Raw just go back to basics. Neville unable to find Brindle South wide, and Fechner trying to play it back in. Just over half an hour gone in this one. Raw currently the better of the two sides. Lions not going down without a fight. There's Miljuznic. Going to go out wide for Brown. Thompson says, we'll take a corner here. And he gets the chance of who are ya from the Den supporters. Can have a little bit of a laugh about it as well. Scott Guy giving plenty of orders on the sideline here as well. Obviously coming over from Crystal Palace. He's been there for plenty of years. A Queenslander originally. Good to see him back in the Sunshine State, is headed down by Aldred, potentially crossing the line, not in the end, and Steinman scrambled there, and I thought that had crossed the line from Aldred, a strong header.
Yeah, it's what Tom Aldred's good at. I mean, he's a big, powerful man, and he makes good runs, really threatens the defence, but it's poor marking from Lions. That's a free header from, it looked like just on the 6-yard box, so Big Tommy would be disappointed he didn't score. He did get it on target, but Darren Syme would be very disappointed in the marking of his central defensive probably trio there. He's got 3 big boys, and to let someone get a free header like that is really poor defending.
I'm sure we'll get a replay of that soon, as Demi trying to get around Doherty now. He's played this side plenty of times in the league, as Demi straight into the chest of Beran, who doesn't hold on to it but gets away with it in the end. And that's what you want to see from Cyrus Demi, taking those chances.
Absolutely. He's physically very strong young guy. As you can see, he's built well, holds the ball up well, and that's his chance. He's threatening defenders with his movement there. So we see again this set piece, and Tom Aldred is just all on his own there. I'm not really sure who was on him. It looks like it was Doherty again. He's just lost him completely there. You've got to be able to put your hand on the player there so you know exactly where he is, because Tom Aldred is their major threat on set pieces.
Fechner going down in back play. Aldred having some collision there. One of the strongest players in the A-League. Getting physical. With Alex Fechner. And Cyrus Demi, the 19-year-old. Plenty to give in this game. That potentially his best chance as of yet. As Solozano making a beautiful run back inside. Out wide now. Beats Truant. Has Mikola on the edge of the box. Winding up, blocked well by Brindle South. And another good chance goes begging for Lions, but the Roar can break here with Muliuznic out wide. Jared marking him. Muliuznic! Saved by Baran, and Demi following up another good save by Baran. This time with the feet. He's a casual goalkeeper. He managed to get to that one. Known for his flair and cool personality with the ball at his feet.
Well, his first save was a decent save. I'm not sure he'd be happy with where he actually punched the ball. He put it right back into the danger area, and Demi probably a little bit disappointed he didn't make it 2-0 from there. But up the other end, Mikola, we saw him take the opportunity and have a shot, but if he just got his head up and rolled it to his left, Beakhurst was on his own, and we saw that in their last round against Casuarina. Just a little bit selfish and gets himself in a rush at times. If he had just composed himself then and played it to Beakhurst, he had a really good opportunity on goal. But look, that ball's probably moved around a bit, might be a bit harsh on Berea there. And I think when you look at the replay, Demi would be disappointed he didn't do better with that.
Lions a bit casual at the back at the moment. Getting themselves into tough situations as Fechner and Aldred with a crucial touch sending it out there, and Truant saved once again by a bit of experience. With Aldred and Neville either side of him. Corey Brown bringing plenty of experience as well. And rumoured players to sign with the Raw. Anton Milinaric was on the extended squad for this match day. Not selected in the end. Obviously, Sydney FC as the long throw in by Mikola towards the front post, and Macklin Freak there on the back of his heels manages to hold on to it. We thought panic stations for a moment there directly from Max Mikola.
Well, he's not the tallest of goalkeepers, Macklin. Very good. I've seen him play quite a bit. He's very athletic, got a great leap and all that, but from a standing position, he's not the tallest of goalkeepers, so a ball like that is going to threaten him. Perhaps would have liked to see a really tall Lions player riding on top of him, but I guess they had Doherty there in that, so but he's done well to handle that Freak.
See, Jamie Young, not the tallest of keepers either, filling in the mould that the Brisbane Roar have had over the past few years. Big season for Macklin Freak coming up. Defining season. Played 2 games last year as Duckworth now getting around Steinman. Mikola may go himself, blocked really well there by Aldred, showing his experience. Mikola with another chance.
That's better from Lions, really pushing the issue there. Duckworth, nice little touch in midfield. I think he's snuck it through the legs there, and he's looking to play forward all the time. He's been Lions' best player. He's always trying to be positive with the ball, and that's what they need to do. Just playing negative's not going to get them anywhere.
And the front post now cleared by Muliuznic. Mikola able to pull it down on the far side and may look to deliver once again towards Carlos, going up against a former teammate in Brindle South. Those two have played plenty of years together. There's Beakhurst. Lovely ball into Carlos. Touched now across the face, saved by Freak. And the Lions building into this game. A high foot from Jared. Barry not given the foul there. The Lions looking to apply the pressure before half-time here. Just 5 minutes to go, and Beakhurst towards the edge of the box. Steinman doing well. Daly winning that one. Came over from the States last season.
Sean Carlos is too nice a bloke. If he falls over there, I think that's a clear penalty. I think he realised once he'd stayed up that he should have fallen over. It looked to me like a stonewall penalty, and I think he's just too honest. If he goes over there, that Lions would be on the spot with a chance to equal it up.
He's been with the club for a long time, since BPL days, as Carlos into Jared. Fish out of water, up in the forward line. Solozano, former A-League player, journeyman. Jarrett. To Doherty. They've got Andy Thompson out wide. Nicola with a lovely turn around Jesse Dale, and they've done that a few times. Have Lions. Duckworth out wide to Solozano. Goes out wide to Andy Thompson now. He may get the opportunity to deliver again here. Headed out by Neville. And not really challenging the Raw defence there. Doherty with a nice touch. Duckworth doing well. Fechner in towards Mikla. Shouts for a handball, and the Raw get away with it. The Lions players are livid with that one. And it will be a corner in the end.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was the initial handball or on the second touch that they think it might have clipped the arm. Obviously no VAR in play here, thankfully. I think it's there. I think it's that one there by Scott Neville that they thought was handball. On that camera angle, very difficult to see.
Rachel Mitchinson not giving that one. Beakhurst presenting the short option and will deliver once again, dinking it into the box, headed away. Carlos can sweep up. Mikola. The Lions really building into this one now. Opening up the angle, and Jared dealt with by Demi. Daly. Berean off his line, and Akbari out wide, keeping it in play. Looking to go out towards Brindle South, and just gets the inside of the ball. And Berean taking.
I don't know if you could hear the shout of anguish there across the microphone on the side of the field, but that's Warren Moon. He's really frustrated with the last 10 minutes from his boys. There's been some poor decisions made defensively, and just the ball like that, that's such a lazy pass. Fatigue has really set in here. The game's getting stretched, and some players are starting to struggle. And a good ball there from Akbari, and Brindle South was all on his own out this side. So just some frustration from Warren Moon with some of the quality that they're producing.
I'm sure the players can't wait till half-time, and there'll be 3 minutes added on in this one. Can't wait to have a breather, I'm sure. As over the top from Neville. Doherty dealing with it well. Brindle South coming in here, holding on to the ball. Doesn't have many options, but finds the youngster in Cyrus Demi. Physical with Matija Simic, who has been marking him most of the game.
Got to concentrate here, Lions. They've got through the first half. They're only 1-0 down, and they've really showed in the last 10-15 minutes they're good enough to stay in this game. They should go in with a heap of confidence, especially if they go in at 1-0 down. What they don't want to do is concede here, so they've really got to get 100% concentration here. Must be very close to half-time. Just get this ball away and go to the sheds.
Corey Brown stepping up to take the corner, taking all the time he can. Plenty of deep breaths out there. There's Brown delivering towards the middle, punched away by Berean. Mikola now opening up things and going over the top towards Solozano. It's a great ball, and Fechner may be able to hunt it down. He does well. Going back over the top towards Solozano. Daly, the furthest outfield player, back. And the Raw dealing with the pressure there. Lions just countering, and a good ball from Mikola opening up. Lions midfield and defence. Here's Aldred, the captain of the side, asking for players to make the run, and he'll be frustrated with that. No runs made for him. Perhaps wanting Brindle South to overlap there. And Warren Moon, have a look at the playbook.
Warren Moon not happy.
Not a happy man heading into the halftime sheds. Will have plenty of words for his side as they look to get further ahead in this game. They currently lead it 1-0 over Lions FC here in the round of 16 game of the FFA Cup here at Lions Stadium, and a fantastic crowd. Campbell Johnson and Nick Meredith here with you, and we'll see you right after this.
Lions once again would like to thank their major sponsors, Luxury Paints, Toulon Master, Miriam Nutrasciences, Lake Tullus, Shops Electrical, Kappa, Face Compression, The Line Richmond, Baby Ladies, All Sports Physiotherapy, Forest Grade, and Red Box Dry Cleaning. Spectators must refrain from any disorderly conduct or conduct that may injure the reputation and goodwill of Football Australia and the code of football generally. Any person who does not comply with the spectator code of behaviour or who otherwise causes a disturbance may be removed from the venue and may be banned from attending future matches. Ladies and gentlemen, please give players from your local community clubs a huge cheer as they walk out onto the field today. The Mini-Moons and Morgan football teams are here in our very own Lions FC. If you would like to try and play football, head to www.local.com.au or participate in Morgan football, please contact us both. Who knows, in years to come, one of these villains out there could be playing the Lions or the Roar.
Well, I hope I'm alive, but I probably won't be doing it now. Anyway.
Only one out of 3 Australians lost Australian journalism status. Every donation is an opportunity to save lives. All you need is your Medicare number and you can register online with Brisbane at donate.
There we see Darren Syme with his half-time team talk here in round of 16 of the FFA Cup. Moving the magnets around as they look to get back into this game. And we have a look at the stats from the first half. Fairly even throughout. Lions very shaky and nervous at the start, but building into the second half, or the second half of the first half, they'll have plenty to do in the upcoming stanza. Raw dominating the shots. Obviously corners going the way. And we have a look at the first half, how it played out.
Yeah, this is the first little bit of an incursion from Lions. Not much to it. Set pieces, they've shown they can be a threat. This is the goal, this is the penalty. Good movement by Demi. Bit of a lazy challenge by Jarrett. And Corey Brown, who I was stunned when he took the penalty. Now we can see why he took the penalty. He's obviously got a real knack for that. Then the Lions started to have this is an excellent passage of play. Fechner up front's got good movement. And they've really challenged. This is the one I didn't understand here. No, sorry, it wasn't. Muliesnitz made a really good run at the defender. Then he had an opportunity later on. This was the one I can't understand why he came back on his left. Perfect opportunity to slot that in the bottom corner if he goes across the keeper. Really poor defending there from Lions. I'd be disappointed with that. Tommy Aldred and a good clearance off the line. Look, the Raw, as you would expect, had more chances. That was one Demi will be disappointed with. They had more chances, but as the half went on, Lions seemed to gain some confidence. The long throw of Mikola, we've seen 4 or 5 of them now. They're a real threat. So you look in that dressing room now, they'd be thinking that we've got a real chance here. The thing that is a concern for me is that Simic there with some ice on his calf. Now, he's missed, I reckon, 90% of the second half of the season with calf and lower leg injuries. He's the really steady influence at the back, so they don't want to lose him. Now, you'd hope to bring you some shots from the Raw dressing room, but if you're a lip reader, it might be a little bit X-rated, because Warren Moon, from all reports, is not a happy camper. And I think just watching him on the sideline the last 15 minutes of that half, he'd be very, very disappointed, and a few players in his dressing room would be getting read the riot act.
Both sides will have plenty to do in the second half. We're bringing you the coverage here on 10 Play, the national rounds for the first time on free-to-air, as 10 taking the new rights for the competition, and plenty of on-screen talent announced during the week. One of those, Alex Brosk, as we get to know him right now.
I'm Alex Brosk, and I'm going to be part of the expert panel providing coverage on the Channel 10 and Paramount Plus network. The first club I played for, I started quite young. I was about 3.5, my mum tells me, and it was for a local South American team that my dad actually played for called Welcome Sports. I don't think they're around anymore, but that's where I started. Australian football is, look, it is everything to me. I've obviously grown up in this country and played all my football, you know, in this country, and what the game has given me and what I've been able to give in a small part back to the game has been everything, has been the biggest part of my life. So Australian football basically is everything to me. I think that there's a lot to look forward to with Australian football. Obviously, this new TV deal now, I think, gives the game a bit of direction and a bit of go forward. And I think just the support and backing that the game needed. So I'm excited about the future and what the next few years hold. The biggest hurdle, I think, for the Socceroos will just be following on from the past, year and a bit. It's the challenges that come with not knowing where they're playing. It's Arnie's difficulty in getting the squad together, whether it's local or international. I think they're obviously always well prepared going into matches, so that won't be an issue. But I just think the logistics and getting his squad together, making sure we have the best players available for every game. Looking back at that qualifier where John Aloisi scored the goal, it's not going to please a lot of my family given the Uruguayan background, but it was the one time that football literally brought me to tears, and seeing Johnny score that goal and just the words behind it, the moment, I remember everything I was doing. I think football is about those moments, and that was incredible for me. It was only a recent one, the Matildas playing against Britain in the Olympics. I think that for me, I was watching the game with my wife and 3 young girls at home, and they were cheering the girls on, and we all were. And seeing Sam Kerr equalise right before the death, take them into extra time and win that game, the emotion in that entire game was incredible. I think another sort of easy answer and probably the go-to for most, but Sam Kerr is, I think what she's doing and really leading, as one of the first, Australian women to really take football to that next level for us internationally. She's doing what she's doing in England, which I guess for any young player in Australia going abroad to test yourself is a massive challenge, and she's just done it with such ease. She comes back and plays for her country exceptionally well and is a real standout for me. Well, look, I think what I'll be bringing is just my years of experience, having played within the A-League and within Australian football for as long as I have, and knowing the players, knowing the way we think here, and knowing, having good insight into what makes Australian players tick. It will be an interesting season. I think a lot of teams have strengthened, so Melbourne City will be up there again. They've really added to their squad. Melbourne Victory will bounce back after a disappointing last year. And Sydney FC, while not having really added too much to their roster, is already an incredible lineup as it is. So I think those three will be challenging for the title. Look, being part of Paramount Plus, I'm excited that you know, they took the challenge on to back football and get behind football. We were crying out for someone to do exactly that, and I think that's an exciting new chapter for football in this country, and for me to be a part of it is obviously you know, very special for me, and hopefully, you know, we can see the game grow in the next few years.
A massive second stanza to come from both sides as Lions look to get back into this game. They showed promise in the start, or I should say the end of the first half. Raw looking to hold on in what is a bitter rivalry here in the round of 16 of the FFA Cup. And we are underway as Lions play host to A-League opposition in the Raw as they look to go long early. And one change at half-time, Nick.
Yeah, the big change. We did see Simic there with some ice on his lower leg, and unfortunately he succumbed to that. So that's been a bit of a reshuffle for Lions. Now, Beakhurst has come out here onto the right-hand side. Andy Thompson's gone in from his right wing-back spot to be part of the central three. And Nathan Shepherd's come on the left-hand side. So I say essentially Thompson's moved inside, Beakhurst has come out here, and Shepherd's on the left-hand side. So interesting to see. But losing Simic, who's a real rock at the back, that's a blow for Lions for sure.
I'm sure Sean Carlos will be wearing the armband now, and Nathan Shepherd coming up against his former roommate in Brindle South as Muliusnich from range, dragging it wide there, and that'll be a fierce battle on the left-hand side. They used to have arguments about who washed the dishes, and now it's about challenges. They can get some revenge here.
It's just interesting, before we came back on air, the Raw are back out here and they're all getting in their positions. Warren Moon called over Corey Brown, Kai Truan and Nikola Muliesnich, his left-hand side players. He had some words with him. I'd love to have been a fly on the wall and hear what he had to say, but I mean, Brown scored an excellent penalty and he's played well, but they really haven't got as much out of this left-hand side in the games we've seen as they have on the other side. So still a work in progress this side of the field for them.
There he is, Warren Moon, coaching against his former side. A true product of the pathway here in Queensland as Daly poking it forward, and Warren Moon has coached at all levels in Queensland, from Centenary Stormers even all the way up to the Raw now. He was with Eastern Suburbs and Peninsula Power as well before he was at Lions. Obviously coaching in the school system for Anglican Church Grammar School, known as Churchy. Before that he was a painter as well, painting houses in southeast Queensland, as Aldred sending that one into his bench and giving Fechner a push. Those two have had a fairly lively battle in this game so far, and it looks to continue here.
Yeah, they have, and Tommy Aldred's well aware that he has to get to Alex Fechner before Alex Fechner gets to the ball, because there's too much speed there from Alex Fechner. So Tom's pretty experienced that. He knows where he needs to meet Alex Fechner. It's not once he's got possession.
And we'll see a trademark long throw in from the excitement machine in Max Mikola from the Raw dugout as he puts it into the middle now, headed away. Duckworth taking a touch and putting it wide. And it was well hit, sat up perfectly for him.
Yeah, it was well hit. That's excellent technique. That ball's not. That's again, we see these throw-ins from Mikola are causing all sorts of problems. Headed out to the edge of the box, and excellent technique from Duckworth. He's brought that down off the chest, and the volley with the left foot. He's hit that really well. Now it's obviously it's gone past the post, but I'm not sure if it was inside the post. Macklin Freak was doing much about that.
Cannot hit it sweeter than that. Is a lovely touch from Demi. Unlocks Muliusnich through Steinman. Muliusnich on his right, intercepted by Jared, and Muliusnich will get another effort, blocked well by the substitute in Nathan Shepherd.
Well, he saved a goal there, Nathan Shepherd. That's just sheer desperation in front of his own goal. He's launched himself there to block that shot. But one player we haven't really mentioned is Matty Steinman in the middle for the Raw. A lot of their good play seems to come through him. Very selective with his passes, hardly gives the ball away, and most of their attacking play he's been involved in at some stage.
Corey Brown to deliver. Campbell Johnson and Nick Meredith with you here as into the box. Allowed to run on, and Scott Neville unsure of where it is, and Beakhurst can clear. For Lions. Brown. Intercepting well as Carlos has been good all game long, really. And a lovely ball there, can't find Fechner. Just trying to put it inside of him. There's Truan, the youngster. His partner, Jamila Rankin, called into the Matildas squad. As they got a 3-1 win over Brazil last night. On Channel 10, the new home of football, and Brindle South moving forward now. Demi will stay on side and get in behind. He has Muljuznic inside of him, and tucking it away is Cyrus Demi. Clinical as you like. Boy wonder for the Raw. Makes it 2-0 at Lions Stadium. And another early goal for the Raw here.
Yeah, exactly what Lions didn't want. We didn't see the through ball there, but he sprung the offside trap with a flat defence really well there, Cyrus Demi. A confident finish. We've seen him in the NPL up here all year. When he gets his opportunities one-on-one with the keeper, he rarely misses, and that's a composed finish from a young guy. He could have played Muljuznic in, but you'd think most strikers in that position are going to take a goal. And that's stating the obvious, but that's the last thing Lions wanted, an early goal in this second half. They obviously, there's no point losing. You might as well lose 5-0 as lose 2-0 here, so Lions are going to have to change the game. I wouldn't be surprised in the next 10, 15 minutes that we see another change. Wouldn't be surprised to see Jordan Farina come on. I think he provides some cleverness and some awareness just in the number 10 or just playing in behind those front two. I think that's an avenue for them, but they've got a mountain to climb now.
Cyrus Demi signed his first professional contract earlier this year with the Raw. Signed it on his 19th birthday. Liberian, Australian-born from the Ivory Coast as well. Fled Africa to Australia as a refugee over a decade ago. Couldn't speak English when he came to Australia. He was failing English and maths in high school. He's now a law student. As Joe Duckworth winning that one there. By the time he graduated Churchie, where he was coached by Warren Moon, he was number 1 in the school in English. A sensational story. Here's Cyrus Demi. Here's Neville. The Raw look to put the foot on the throat here. The shade starting to come over here at Lions Stadium, but still boiling conditions has Fechner. Aldred doing really well there to stick out the foot. And thwart the attack of Lions. Brown towards Demi. Doherty, the former Brisbane Strikers player, getting a touch on it. And Demi in the box once again. Intervention from Nathan Shepherd, the Scottish fullback, and substituting down in back play. Here's Ethan Doherty. I'm not sure what with, and another player down is Alex Fechner. I'm not sure what's happened, and Doherty staying down as Corey Brown playing it out. And you hope he's okay. Just to be clutching onto the knee. And some words from both sides here.
Yeah, that's interesting. I saw Doherty go down. He grabbed at a knee or something after that when he got turned by Cyrus Demi in the box when he went back. And he went down. Alex Fechner, I think, has had some sort of collision with Tommy Aldred in the middle of the field. Now, I didn't see it. I just saw him lying on the ground. But a little bit of discussion between both the benches, which is, all's fair in love and war. But, look, I don't really see what happened. We might get a little look here at what's happened with Fechner. Oh, yeah, he's been body checked there by Aldred. So, look, that's a fair distance off the ball. So Tom Aldred might be lucky he's got away with, not being penalised at all there.
Fechner and Tom Aldred in heated exchanges throughout the game. And this doesn't look good for Ethan Doherty.
No, it doesn't. No, he's had knee issues in the past, Ethan Doherty, when he was, from memory, when he was back in Scotland, he did an ACL, and that led to him coming back to Australia. And look, you really hope it's not something as serious as that. But in saying that, it did look like a non-contact injury. It wasn't done in a tackle or anything like that. So they're the ones you normally worry about. So fingers crossed for him that it's nothing too serious.
We saw the strapping on his knee there. He came back this season, had a knee reconstruction in the past. He's got his hands on his head, and we hope the best for him. He looks to be in a fair bit of pain here. And this is not what you want if you're Ethan Doherty. Darren Seymour Lions.
Well, it's not. I mean, even if we look beyond this, we've got NPL's finals series start up here next week, which, is perhaps only a little bit Queensland-centric and not of interest to everyone, but Lions are in that final series. Now, there's every chance to think they've lost Simic with a lower leg injury, and if they lose Doherty, that's two of their best probable defenders in the middle of the defence they're going to be missing next week. And Look, Doherty's up, which is good. Hopefully it's not as bad as we thought, but look, you really don't know with these until someone cools down. But yeah, he's obviously not moving very well. And look, he had a professional contract signed in Scotland with one of the in a lower league, but he was living his dream and got a professional contract, and then unfortunately tore his ACL, which is, you know, really unfortunate. You don't like to see it. And you see there, he was involved with Demi out here, but there was no contact, and they just turned inside. So that's obviously where something's happened. You hope it's not structural with his knee, but as I said, when there's no contact involved, they're the ones you really worry about. And yeah, fingers crossed, let's hope for the best.
He got up before and tried to walk it off, and he's walking it off now as he gets a round of applause from the crowd. And if you look at the bench, who might make their way on, not a whole lot of options. Probably Jake Minnett, as he's known, Buller, maybe James Beattie as well. Options. It looks like he's getting a few words from the coaching staff as they may look to just play two at the back with the wing backs as well. And we are back underway. James Beattie looks like he'll be getting the call up and slot into the base of midfield. And the Raw looking to capitalise here. Neville into Brindle South. And the ball towards the front post. Jared getting the touch in there, and Demi trying to go again. Lions managed to clear. And Akbari now. Brindle South towards the back post. Back in by Miliusnic and headed away by Andy Thompson. James Beattie coming onto the field, has been with the club for a while now. He makes his way on. He's been around the traps and a multitude of different clubs as he comes on, and Ethan Doherty's day is well and truly over. Daly to deliver. Low into the front post. Lions managed to clear it only for the moment as Brown catching the outside of that one and sending it well wide. He can have a smile about it and a chuckle. It was worth a hit, especially at 2-0 up.
Well, fair to say his penalty was a bit better than that. That was in boxing terms, I think you'd call that a haymaker from Corey Brown.
As Fechner trying to move forward, big collision with Neville, both players down. Fechner manages to get back up, and it looks like Neville will do the same, just clutching at the shin.
Yeah, nothing sinister, that's just shin on shin there. I think they're nasty, and if you've ever had one, you know what I mean, they hurt for the first 5 or 6 minutes. You think, ouch, that really does hurt, and it takes a while to run them off. And you can almost guarantee once you run them off, the ball or someone else will hit you there and you'll get it all over again. But no malice from either player in that, it's just a good contest for the ball.
Both players going in with full intent to win it. We see Fechner turning around there. And Neville, both of them just going in. Full pelt. And it looks like Jay O'Shea might be coming on for the Raw. As Mikula going short with the throw in this time.
With the foul throw.
Not fully behind, hey?
No, I didn't think so, but, you know, probably don't like to see games held up for that. Yeah, not surprised to see O'Shea. They need to get some minutes in his legs. He was late arriving back from Europe with COVID issues and the like, so no surprise to see him get an extended run.
We'll be looking to create, that's for sure. Andy Thompson standing over this one. His sister a fullback as well from the women's side. They won the NPLW Grand Final last night here in Queensland. Truly dominant women's side are Lions as Andy Thompson, Finn Beekhurst and Matty Steinman in a bit of a row there in the middle of the park. Looks like Alex Parsons maybe getting ready to come on as well. Really broke through last season, I should say, as Thompson delivering straight into Cyrus Demi in the wall. Good there from Demi, but Andy Thompson have to put that one into the box at this stage.
Yeah, I'm surprised he took it. I thought Mikula would have taken that. His set-piece delivery all year has been excellent. The end swing is a dangerous ball. I was surprised at the decision there.
As Mikula now with the chance to deliver towards the back stick, headed away by Brindle South, and Fechner able to pull it down and wrangle it from going out. Lovely move by Fechner towards the byline, cut inside, and met well by the Raw defence. He'll go out for a corner.
That's what we like to see. Alex Fechner took the player on, and that's what we wanted to see Mulliesnich. Well, I did anyway. Wanted to see him do in the first half. If you want to take the guy on, makes it really difficult for him, and Fechner showed that.
Beakhurst headed back, and Beatty able to get the last touch on it. Mikula hunting it down, unable to keep it in play. And Lions perhaps lacking a bit of an aerial threat at the moment, and you wonder if Geordie Farina can bring that. Also brings a sense of fight and to the contest, as Lions getting the throw in here. Jay O'Shea and Alex Parsons getting ready to come on. Beatty over the top. Beakhurst trying to chase it down, and Truant. Beakhurst doing well to get a foot to that one. They get a throw in for it, and Max Mikula will be taking, no doubt. Go for that trademark signature. Long throw in that we've seen so many times today. All centre backs head forward for them. And there's Mikula flat in there. Mulliesich heading it away. Carlos able to collect and recycle possession for Lions as the switch from Shepherd, and Macklin Freak coming out well for it.
Yeah, that's what you want from your goalkeeper. As a defender, once you turn around towards your own goal, it's not much fun, and you see your keeper come out and claim it like that. That's excellent goalkeeping.
Brindle South now. Demi's got to make the run forward. Hazak Bari out wide, and Brindle South out towards Mulliesich, and not the pass he was hoping for. Straight out for a throw-in as the Raw make substitutions. Nikola Mulliesich, that's his last involvement in this one, as Alex Parsons comes on, and Jesse Daly also hits the bench, and two fantastic substitutions coming on. Alex Parsons and Jay O'Shea. Nikola Mulliesich and Jesse Daly fairly quiet in this game, but now Jay O'Shea gets the chance to get some minutes into his legs, and Alex Parsons to prove himself once again. Neville heading it back. Parsons with his first touch here. Chance of a handball, but he holds on to possession. Finding the substitutes linking up there, and Jay O'Shea. Neville from range. It was a good effort there. A driven shot from Scott Neville.
Yeah, we'll file that one under A for ambitious. It's good 25, 30 yards out and never really trouble Boyne. It's a little bit impatient from Scott Neville there. I mean, what you want to see from the Raw now is to get Jay O'Shea on the ball as much as they can. He's their most creative player they've got in there. And for them to have a good season, Jay O'Shea needs to have a really good season. He's the one player that I think in the Raw lineup can unlock a defence with his... He's got some great vision and he's clever on the ball. Jay O'Shea is crucial to how the Raw fare this year.
Very underrated in the A-League competition as well. Creates so many chances. Great of passing from deep and from advanced positions, as Geordie Farina getting ready to come on. Darren Syme having a few words with him. The son of Frank Farina getting ready to enter the field of play, as Jarrah doing well. But giving away possession, and Demi bundled over in the end. As Lions will make the substitution, Geordie Farina getting ready to come on, and it looks like Jean-Carlos Solozano will be the one making way, and I think that's the right call. Alex Fechner's been causing problems all game long, but Geordie Farina now comes on to assist him.
Yeah, no shock there. That's the obvious change. I think Solozano's, is an experienced and he's a good finisher, but he suits a certain type of play, and if they're not getting balls in and around the box that much, he becomes a little bit ineffective, and obviously we've seen Fechner with his pace. He's a threat whenever he gets it, and the same with Mikula. So I think that's the logical change there for Lions.
Farina's been playing a little bit deeper than he's used to, as well as O'Shea with his first delivery since coming off the bench. Aldred able to keep it from going out. Neville. Mikula winning that one, but it will be a raw throw in. He can have a laugh about it, can Max Mikola. But Jordi Farina's been playing in more of a 10 role in recent weeks. Looking to create things, but traditionally leads the line. Most likely see him operate in a front two here. Alex Fechner as well, traditionally a winger at times, playing centrally this season. Darren Syme experimenting with positions. Finn Beakhurst typically a winger. Zach Maltby typically playing further forward. And those two players operating deeper in the wing-back roles throughout the course of the NPL season. And as we've seen in the Cup, Steinman over the top now towards Brown. And will be offside. Just creeping past Finn Beakhurst and Andy Thompson. And he'll be made to take it once again.
He annoyed at himself there, Corey Brown. He's in a position where he can see along the line. It's incumbent on him to stay offside there. Whenever Steinman gets the ball, I'd be looking to make runs because he seems to be able to pick someone out with a pass and he gets his head up very quick. So it'd be nice to see some of these wider players or players from deep from the Raw making runs beyond the back four or back five of Lions and really challenging them because Steinman will find them.
Has Parsons in behind here, the substitute. And too casual at the back there from Lions, giving away possession, and lucky that the Raw haven't managed to capitalise on that one. As Akbari buying himself some time, finding O'Shea, I should say. And Jordi Farina scored 2 goals in their last FFA Cup tie. Alex Fechner pushed down in back play by Kai Truan. Once again, Thompson with the throw-in.
I think it's fair to say Alex Fechner's just about had enough. He's starting to get a little bit tired and frustrated with the constant attention. He's left his shoulder in a bit late on Tom Aldred there and tried Truan one on the way past too. So he just needs to just gather his thoughts a minute. The last thing Lions can handle is a man short. They really need to keep their composure. They're not out of it. If you're still going with 10 minutes to go and you can jag a goal and get, but you're right back into it. So they really need to keep their composure here, Lions. They're not out of this.
A long day at the office for the former Brisbane City player as Parsons trying to find Neville, but just behind him there, and Steinman can intercept. O'Shea out to Brown. Akbari out wide now for the Raw. Brown coming inside. Akbari once again. Steinman may wind up and go himself. He goes outside to Brindle South in the end. May get it back on the edge of the box here. Delivering towards the back post. Brown unable to get a clean contact on that one. Berean able to collect. Berean spent time in Italy as well. Playing throughout Europe. Married to his wife Ellen. On the morning of a game last season, a big game, a semi-final against Peninsula Power. Rocked up to the game in a Ferrari and a wedding suit. His wife, newlywed, on the sideline in a full gown. Nothing says style like a semi-final against Peninsula Power. As Jared, obviously winning that game, a good wedding present for them. And going on to win the grand final last year, being crowned champions. They look to do it once again this year as fouled is Nathan Shepherd high, and now a chance for Lions. Fechner unable to connect with that one, and Brown sending it into the waiting arms of his coach, and he gives it a punt.
He did give it a punt because he's very frustrated at how simple Lions got that free kick and then just played the ball, and the Raw had completely switched off. Just played a ball in down the left, and the Raw had zoned out of the game altogether. So that's frustrating for a professional club. They need to be more alert. They need to keep their mind focused more than that, because they'll come up with teams that'll up against teams this year in the A-League that'll punish them for that.
And that punt away by Warren Moon signals time for a drinks break here in the second half. Obviously scorching heats here in Queensland, 32 degrees at the moment, and a sunny day. It'll be wearing on the players here at Lions Stadium. Brisbane Roar currently 2-0 to the good. The substitutes coming on in Jay O'Shea, Josh Brindle South earlier, Alex Parsons. They'll be looking to make a difference. Parsons, obviously plenty of experience playing against sides like Lions. He was with Western Pride. Obviously played a lot in the Raw youth side as well. And if you're Lions, you've got 20 minutes to play. How do you respond here? Do you just go for it?
Well, you've got to go for it. I mean, there's no point just going out with a whimper, so they've got to go for it. But there's no point bombing everyone forward now, because you'll cop 3 or 4 in the next. You'll cop a couple of goals in the next 10 minutes, and the game's all over. So you've got to really make sure that you get to that final 10 minutes and you're still no worse than 2 goals off, and then you really can have a go at them. They've got to make a little bit more out of their set pieces. Mikkela's throw-in is, it's Rory DeLapp quality. It's a long throw. It's probably the longest I've seen in a fair while, and it's a flat throw. So it's essentially a set-piece corner every time you get him within 30 yards from goal. So they've got to use that to their advantage. They've got some big guys, but out of their corners they really haven't had a good challenge in. So they've really got to make the most out of their opportunities. But don't throw, everything at the moment. You've still got time.
And they'll get the chance for one of those Rory DeLapp-esque throw-ins here from Max Mikkela from the Raw dugout as it's towards the front post, and a chance there for Farina Truen getting the last touch on that one and putting it wide, but a beautiful throw in there from Max Mikkela.
That's just what you'd hope to see, and you can do it again here. And the problem you'll see with Macklin Freak with his hand up now, they've got the Western Sun here at Richlands right in their eyes here, so this is going to be really difficult to defend. This is like defending at Hindmarsh with that sun that comes through the stand there. It is a nightmare.
As Mikkela towards the back stick, all the way through the traffic there. Sean Carlos able to sweep up. Thompson, all pressing a high line here. Steinman able to head it away. Mikkela up against Parsons, physical. And will go the way of Lions. James Beatty handing it off for Andy Thompson. Lovely ball in. Shouldered over the top from Fechner with a bit of flair. Farina will be a good aerial target for those long throw-ins that we saw just before. And you're looking to go to that. Brown just shepherding it. Good pressure from Fechner. Corey Brown gave him a little bit of a tap on the shoulder. A good work one, and Corey Brown just picking something out of the boot there. And getting more active in this game as it plays on. Freak going along with the clearance. And the Den starting to celebrate with 20 to play, just under. They're excited for a big A-League men's and women's season. Be able to catch all of that action. Channel 10, Paramount Plus, home of Australian football. And as things stand, this will be the first time the Raw have made it past the round of 16 stages. Demi getting some treatment from James Beatty. And the throw-in will go the way of Lions.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I think the ref just said, instead of giving a free kick. I thought Cyrus Demi was a bit unlucky not to get a free kick. Very physical, Cyrus. He has, for a young guy, he has no trouble holding off defenders, and just got get a little bit more subtlety to his game. But athletically and physically, he's everything you want in a football, and he's a very good finisher. He just needs to get a little bit of subtlety with his movement and that, but that'll come in time.
We've seen so many players prove themselves in the Cup over the years. He gets his chance today, scored a goal. The second for the Raw, as Parsons on the right now. Raw not pushing things too much at this stage. Just about 30 minutes gone in this second stanza here at Lions Stadium. And the game was originally scheduled to be at North Ipswich Oval on reserve, but thankful they can play it at home, I'm sure. Lions, and it's a fantastic crowd here today, and Parsons potentially in behind here and will be offside in the end. Just testing that Lions back line.
Big challenging year for Alex Parsons. He burst onto the scene last season and was really outstanding. It's a bit of a revelation for the Roar, you could say. Got the touch there, but it's clearly offside. The thing that he needs to develop now is when Alex gets the ball, people know now that he's a predominantly left-footed player, and like a lot of left-footed players, they basically don't use their right foot at all. So now Alex has to come up with something that defenders aren't going to expect. So it's a challenge for him, but he's got a great work ethic, terrific young guy, so I'm sure he'll work it out. And as I say that, he's knocked a great ball in there with his right foot, so good luck to him. But he's got a massive year ahead of him now. It's whether he can go to the next level, because if he can jump up a level from where he got to, then the Roar are going to have some really good attacking options.
He's picked up the number 22 jersey that's so famous for the Roar. Also picked up some other young attacking talent in Jez Lofthouse from Olympic and Henry who used to play. And they'll be looking to prove themselves as well. We're really buying into the pathway in Queensland as Carlos going down and play on, says the referee. And the ball in now from Shepherd, headed away by Brown. And they'll get another opportunity here as Farina into Duckworth. We've seen him had efforts from this range as Beakers gets a touch on it, and the Roar are able to clear for the moment. Plenty of former Brisbane Roar youth players out there for Lions and scattered throughout the competition. As Vecna just trying to keep that one in play and does really well to hold it up. Carlos Duckworth lets it run, and it's clever, but doesn't manage to get onto the end of it. And a lovely run there by Demi, and a beautiful ball over the top. Demi in behind for two. Dig it over the top, and Cyrus Demi, a fantastic brace for the young salad. Nominated the NPL team of the season. Tom Aldred down in back play, but fantastic there from Cyrus Demi.
Yeah, that's a super finish. The ball through from Brindle South, just a simple ball through. Athleticism of Demi. It's a good ball by Brindle South. He gave him the opportunity to run onto it. That's a really composed finish for a young player. Not on his natural foot, but he's taken his time. He's just a lovely little dink over the top. Pretty well puts the game to bed now. You would think the Roar will go on to win this now. That third goal was crucial. That's just a fantastic finish. Gave the goalkeeper no chance and gave the defenders no chance. The big concern for Brisbane is down in the other penalty box where you've got Tom Aldred down. Now, we know towards the end of last year he had all sorts of trouble with his hamstring. Now, he's tried to stretch that out. Hopefully it's cramp. I mean, they're really warm conditions. They were stretching like it's cramp. So let's hope for Brisbane's sake it is, because he is a key part of that defence. And have mentioned it a few times. If Tom Aldred's body is going to be his biggest problem. Is it going to break down, or is he going to be okay to go through? We've seen him today. He's the main organiser in this defence, and he's done really well. It's his body that's going to be the big question. So let's just hope for his sake, and he doesn't look too concerned, that it's just a cramp.
Well, he will come off now, but two fantastic finishes from Cyrus Demi as Jackson Hart-Phillips comes on for his debut, as well as new signing Nick Olsen, both coming onto the field. Noel McGrath and Jake Minnett coming on for Lions FC, but that's Tom Aldred's night and debuts. New signing announced this morning. Nick Olsen spent some time in Kuwait, the former Western Sydney Wanderers academy player, but Jackson Hart-Phillips also onto the field now for his senior Raw debut. Former Redlands United product.
Yeah, no shock to see Olsen sign. They really needed some more depth on the left-hand side, Raw. They were skinny there. Just a quick shout-out to his fiancée's hairdresser, who I know quite well, who's watching in Sydney. So Bit of an obscure one there, but shout out to Nick Olsen's fiance's hairdresser. Now, he has a role to play here for Lions because if Corey Brown gets injured at any stage, they're really thin on this side. So he's got some experience behind. Let's see how he goes in these last 20 minutes.
A former young Socceroo getting in behind early, and Andy Thompson putting it into the sky. Barry pulling it down, and shouts for Olsen to be offside here. His first true touches as a Raw player as Parsons winding up and blocked well there. Steinman strong on the ball, and Mikola dispossessing. But at this stage, giving players the chance to have a run about in the cup, get some minutes into their legs and debuts as well. Here's Jackson Hart Phillips. Went to Brisbane State High School here in Brisbane as well. Was part of Redlands United's great escape last year, I should say. They've got the opportunity to do that tomorrow as well, or today, I should say. Isaac Bari laying it back for Brindle South. He would have loved a goal against his former side, but Battle of Bayside here in Brisbane as Palabar and Redlands United a 6-pointer to stay up in the NPL. Jackson Hart Phillips was a part of that last year, the side that managed to stay up under the tutelage of Jordan Manning. Now Graham Harvey looks to keep them up once again in what looked like a completely written off season. Redlands United able to potentially salvage it. And back here in the cup, Beatty clearing. Neville sitting up beautifully and straight into the arms of Baran.
For all you Raw fans watching at home, a little bit concerned, and people hear about Tom Alder, he doesn't seem slightly concerned looking at the bench. He came off laughing and that, and hasn't really gone for the ice or anything yet. So I'm assuming it's just a cramp, and if that, that's obviously the best outcome for them. Vitally important to their season.
Noah McGrath onto the field now, just 18 years of age. Made his NPL debut last season at just 17 years of age. Also earned a Team of the Week selection in that same week for his efforts in that one. Part of the young crop coming through at Lions as Akbari. The edge of the box, part of the young crop coming through at the Raw. Unable to feed it through there. He's been around for a while, has Ramad Akbari, despite his young age.
It'll be interesting to watch him this year, what position they play, mainly due to resource in the last couple of years. He's played a lot deeper than I think he'd like to. I think he likes to play more so an attacking midfielder, so it'll be interesting to see how he plays as Alex Fechner takes another tumble.
And Miklo tries to feed through Farina, but you're right, Fechner going down a few times here, getting some attention from opposition centre-backs. Max Miklo just holding onto the ankle there, and he gets back up. But you're right, last year playing as a bit more of a 6, and we'll be hoping to play a bit further forward. Looks like that's the case. He spent some time down at Melbourne Victory, and Demi looks like he'll be on side here as he's in behind now with a chance for a hat-trick. Demi putting it away, making it 3 for himself and 4 for the Raw in the 83rd minute. Sensational from Cyrus Demi, the former Rochdale Rovers player.
Yeah, well done, young man. That's a super ball through from Jay O'Shea. But once again, from Lions' perspective, it's a pretty simple dig just over the top. I think it was Shepherd that may have played them all onside, and clearly onside. Demian, he's got no worries taking on his left foot or his right foot. He composed himself and, really put his foot through the ball and stuck that in the top corner. So he's won a penalty and he's got the goal. So he's, for a guy who's really trying to earn his spot in the side, he's done really well. Well done to you, young man. That's an excellent performance. He's put himself about, he's worked hard, and when he's had the opportunity in front of goal, he's taken his chances really well.
The student proving the difference in this one. The youngster, a massive season for him coming up. A hat-trick in the cup. You draw comparisons to 2019. Players lighting up the cup. Fraser Hills for Brisbane Strikers, and Alassane Toure massively for Adelaide United, who went on to win the competition in 2019. Really announced himself in the cup as Fechner looking to do the same here. The former Nudgee College man has Farina, unable to hit that one cleanly, and gets a sarcastic jeer from the den behind the goal there.
It's funny that not funny, but you mentioned Toure then, and we see Cyrus Demi. These young African guys that are coming into Australian society, they make such an impact. They're fantastic athletes. Their work rate's tremendous. They apply themselves because they know that this is a great opportunity for them. We see Owen Mobile, the work ethic that he went through, some of the stories I've heard about how he used to get to training, and it was almost like a daily adventure to get to training. These guys, they really want to grasp this opportunity, and for a young guy like Cyrus, now I know Cyrus turned up to an away game last year, he didn't even have a pair of screw-in boots, so it's not an easy road for them. To see them apply themselves like this, and for a young man like him to take this chance, it's fantastic to see.
He's taking his chances in the Cup, that's for sure. He'll look to do the same in the A-League this season. There's Duckworth. And 3 fantastic finishes from Cyrus Demi, I might add. But way too much time and space in behind there, completely on his own.
Yeah, I think the loss of Simic at half-time has been really crucial. He may not be the most athletic anymore, but he's a fantastic organiser, and they've looked a little bit all over the place, those 3 in the middle at the back sometimes. 2 are stepping up and 1's dropping off, and I don't think there was even any question of offside on any of those breakaways of Demi. It's just been a chip ball over the top and really simple football, and when you've got players like O'Shea, and they'll knock that ball every day.
And also for Demi, perfectly timed runs as tries to make one there, and Parsons threaded through from O'Shea, and Parsons staying on the ball, looking to deliver to the back stick, and Brindle South just over his head there as his old roommate Nathan Shepherd just watches it out.
Yeah, just got in and used his body on him there, Shepherd, and shepherded him under the ball, which was nicely defended. But clever from Parsons. He didn't get into a position and just blaze away. He's tried to pick someone out. Noticed that with him last year. For a young guy, he's got a lot of composure. He doesn't get flustered. He tries to pick someone out when he gets into those positions.
O'Shea taking it over the top towards Demi. Beatty winning that one. As Demi holding on to possession, using his strength well. Absolutely lit up the NPL Queensland competition, and will look to do the same for the A-League in the upcoming season, starting in a few weeks. As O'Shea, beautiful ball over the top to the debutant in Olsen, who's just offside, and Parsons unable to finish it regardless, but lackadaisical with the offside called. It'll be interesting to see how Nick Olsen goes. Not too many people have really seen him play that much recently, obviously. Spending a lot of time in Kuwait. But for the Raw, bringing in another left footer, crucial for them. Corey Brown's really their only one, as Fechner unable to get past True there.
Yeah, hands up for me. I knew very little about Olsen until got a little bit of a brief on him today, and he's had an interesting career. Let go by Wanderers, obviously went over, played in Kuwait, which is not your typical path for a young guy to go. I think they got him offside here, yeah, they have, which is not your typical path. So he's gone and lived his football dream. Now he's come back to Australia. And look, he's going to get opportunities because, as you said, Raw don't have an abundance of left-footed players. What I have noticed from him early, he loves to get forward. He looks like he's happy to make that run in behind all the time. So that's a good sign.
Sutherland Sharks Jr. also played for Apia Leichhardt, Sydney United as well, for making the trek to the Middle East. And you're right, he does like making that move forward, typically a winger. And as we know, has Parsons from range, ambitious in the end. We've seen a few ambitious efforts from the Raw players late in this one as they sit 4-0 up with about a minute to go. Regulation time, everything all but said and done.
Yeah, look, it's basically over. The Raw's going to progress to the quarterfinals for, I don't know, is it the first time?
It is indeed.
The first time, which is pretty disappointing for a club of their pedigree that's taken this long. But they've been worthy winners, particularly here in the second half. But the biggest concern for Lions to come out, I think Darren Simon would be pretty pleased with the performance, is the 2 injuries that he's copped that might derail their finals campaign. But they've had a couple of players here that have acquitted themselves really well. I thought Duckworth was excellent in the first half. Mickle's shown that he's got the technique and the capabilities to play I think he's got to play at a higher level. Needs a little bit more refinement for sure, but I'm sure there's clubs watching that have looked at him and go, he's a young guy with some ability. So.
He's certainly putting himself in the shop window. He said it earlier. Needs probably another season or two in the NPL, and loose pass there as Parsons storming forward now. Foul there by Jake Minitz. Shoulder to shoulder, not given in the end. He's certainly lighting this competition on fire as 5 minutes added on to this one. Seen a few injuries here and there. Ethan Doherty, Tommy Jarrod still out there, but...
Yeah, Doherty's the concerning one with his history of knee injuries and the way he went down without contact. So fingers crossed for him. I'm sure we'll find out up here a little bit more in the next couple of days. But for the Roar, the big thing it gives them obviously is more competitive games. They progress to the next round. No one likes playing friendlies. They'd much rather play competitive games.
As O'Shea gets the touch, and it was deflected through as Brindle South will get an opportunity to deliver here. Akbari, lovely in space here, brought down by Beakhurst, but got the ball and a lovely challenge from the youngster. And he's another one of the Lions players who will be putting himself in and around the conversation for the A-League in the coming seasons. Really solid player for them. Former Brisbane Roar youth player as well, I believe. As we see there, ambitious shot there, but it's Moreton Bay United youngster as well. Spent some time down south. He's an electrician by trade. As Jackson Hart Phillips just heading it back to Macklin Freak. Scored a fantastic goal with his right against Casuarina in the round of 32. As Shepherd winning the ball high and winning the foul there. Matty Steinman sticking his hand up. Nothing intentional there. It'll be a big season for Matty Steinman. It's exactly the kind of player that the Roar have been calling out for, that strong, physical, tall midfielder that they were perhaps lacking last year. Yeah,
they've really lacked a six in modern football terms, a holding midfielder for quite a while. You go back through the really good teams of the Roar, they had a Corona, they had an Eric Partloo, they had those sort of players that did really well in that position. I'm not sure they've really filled that role in recent years, and Matty Steinman looks to be that sort of guy. You may go to a game and you might not notice a lot of the work he does. I do think he's an excellent passer with the ball, and he's very selective with what he does and hardly gives the ball away. As you see, he's a big physical presence there. Good athlete, he's got around the ground well. So, look, he's a really good pickup for the Roar.
Youth export of Hamburger SV in Germany. Signed for the Roar from East Bengal in India after previously plying his trade for the Wellington Phoenix in the A-League. As O'Shea, the Irishman, looking for options, plenty of them lining up.
And he's picked the worst one.
And Berean able to collect that one. And for the Roar, they've had to play, obviously, Peninsula Power in the previous game as Berean just chewing up the clock here. And they've also now had to play Lions, two of the powerhouse sides in Queensland. So it's not an easy run for them. They haven't had to play A-League opposition as of yet. Darren Syme could be fairly happy with his squad's performance.
Yeah, I think they've done well. I think the gap between full-time and semi-pro started to show us the conditions have really started to affect players. I think fatigue set in. Fatigue just doesn't set in physically, it sets in mentally as well. Once your body starts to get weary, the brain goes with it, and you start to make some almost lazy decisions as you really struggle to. As the game's gone on, the Roar have looked much, much stronger physically than what Lions have.
There's Duckworth playing it up and Beakhurst unable to control it. Olsen. Akbari. Parsons. Akbari still down, and you hope he's okay. Looks like he'll be getting back up as Mikola springing forward now for Lions. Has Farina and Fechner in front of him, but holds it up and goes back for Shepherd. Akbari still down in back play, and they might be fairly close to just punting it out. He gets back up on his feet, and Thompson looking to move things forward for Lions and hopefully get a consolation goal for them. Duckworth able to control. The former Western Pride players there, and Parsons and Duckworth. Jake Minute as well, plenty of them from that 2017 Western Pride side. And that is full-time here at Lions Stadium as the A-League players show their strength here in the Cup. Lions FC going down by 4 goals. A valiant effort nonetheless, but the strength of the A-League too strong.
Yeah, it was. It showed out, particularly as fatigue started to set in. The superior techniques and the benefit of training every day. And they train every day in the daytime, and it's a stifling afternoon here. Some of these guys will really be sore and sorry tomorrow with cramps and the like, but it just showed up the advantage of being full-time professionals and a little bit extra quality. I mean, they're playing as full-time professionals because they're the better players. So, look, promising for the Raw. They go into the quarterfinals for the first time. They'll hope, I would imagine, to draw another NPL club from around the country, but let's see.
Their first time into the quarterfinals, their first time into the round of, or past the round of 16, as we have a look how the match played out here, Nick.
Yeah, well, look, the first person we saw on the ball there was Cyrus Demi, and he's the star of the game with his goals today. Most of the chances that the Lions had came from the long throws of Mikula or set pieces. That was an excellent effort. Still only 1-0, I believe, at that time when Duckworth hit that. But then Demi really took over the game. Powerful, quick, super athletic, and very composed in front of goal. He took all his chances really well. He ended up being the difference, not the difference in the game, but he won the penalty in the first half, and he showed himself that there's going to be other people fighting for his job. You know, you've got Ivanovic and the like and that, but he's showing them that, like, listen, I'm a young guy, but if you want the spot up here, well, you've got to come out and score a hat-trick and play like I did. And if I was a defender and Cyrus Demi was coming on to play against me with 25 minutes, half an hour to go, I wouldn't be happy, because physically he's going to test you. He's, as I've mentioned it a lot of times, he's a super athlete, but he plays on that shoulder, and we see here, this is when Lions are starting to fatigue, but he's really just blown past those 2 defenders there. It wasn't though he had a head start, and that's just a super finish from a young guy. Any striker in the world would be happy with that. This is almost a replica of it. Ball over the top by O'Shea. This one, Lions' defence was all over the place, but he's taken his time, and he's just crushed that into the top corner. So he's had an afternoon that he won't forget. He's come on, come on into the first team. He's got himself a hat-trick and won the penalty. So clearly the most influential player on the field, and one for A-League fans to watch.
Cyrus Demi lighting up the Cup, and we'll be looking to light up the A-League in the coming season. A big one for the Raw. Plenty of new inclusions, plenty of A-League talent. And for Lions FC, for them, it's all about the final series in the NPL as things start to shape up, in the finals or semi-finals kick off next week. The Raw head into the quarterfinals for the first time ever, winning 4 goals to 0.